What's up everybody, my name is Taylor and I am here on behalf of ILIO to show you how to use the THU plugin in a live application. Okay, let me explain how I have everything hooked up and what exactly is going on here. I'm using the THU plugin inside of my MacBook Pro. I'm using a Focusrite Scarlett 18i20 for my audio interface. This interface is total overkill for this application. This just happens to be the only interface that I own that has a MIDI input. More on that in a minute. Now let's say you're using the THU plugin at your band rehearsal, or maybe you have a clinic or something like that where there's going to be a decent PA. You could stop here and you could run the outputs from your audio interface into front of house, but I thought it might be kind of fun to actually run this into a real guitar cabinet. So the way that I have this hooked up is I'm running the output from my Scarlett 18i20 into a solid state power amp that is powering my Mesa 4x12 cabinet here, and that is being mic'd up with an SM57, which is the sound that you guys are hearing. Now the THU plugin can be controlled via MIDI, which is why I'm using an audio interface that has a MIDI input on it. And what good does a live rig do you if you can't control it with a foot switch? Am I right? So I'm using an X-Sonic Airstep as my MIDI controller to control the THU plugin. More on this later. All right, so now that you guys know how I have everything hooked up, let's set up a few different patches and I'll show you how to switch in between them. Okay, so I have just a simple patch set up here with an Overloud amp and the D-reverb pedal. I think in terms of sonic quality, the THU plugin is doing a really good job, and sitting in the room with the cabinet sounds pretty good. All right, so let's say I want to go over here into scene B and I want to turn the reverb off. Now when I toggle back and forth in between A and B, that will turn my reverb off. So these different instances can really be set up in any different configuration, and then you could program your MIDI controller to do A, B, C, and D. Let's do that first. So I'm gonna make a signal chain here, and I wanna do something with a little bit more of a hard rock or metal type amplifier. So let's just use something like, let's just go with the classic Mesa Boogie head, and I am not going to load a 4x12 cabinet with this because I'm using a 4x12 cabinet right here. That would sound really weird. So we're just going to load up the head. Let's set it something like that. We're going to put this down on modern mode. Again, the sound quality is excellent. It actually really surprises me with how good it sounds being an application being played through a 4x12 cabinet. Cool. Let's throw a boost on this. We're gonna go with the tube screamer. We're gonna set this like that. Now I'm not going to get too crazy with this rig, but let's say we want some effects on there. We already have a reverb. Let's go ahead and add a delay. Okay. Pretty good at the stock settings there. Let's also add in, we're gonna do something fun. Let's add in, oh, this is perfect. We're gonna add in this phaser to the beginning of our signal chain. We're gonna turn the speed all the way down and the level all the way up. And maybe the, right there. So maybe we want to set this up to have all of this on in scene B. Let's go back over here to A and let's turn them all off. And so now you can see that when we go between the two, we essentially have a rhythm and a solo tone. Now let's get into using the MIDI controller to switch between those. So what we need to do here is we need to go up to our MIDI. We need to click on that, and then you're gonna have all of your different MIDI settings in this menu here, and it's really, really easy to set up your MIDI controller. Let me show you how easy it is. Basically, go down to the parameter you want. You can see that we can turn all these different parameters on each type of pedal or effect that we are using, the looper, tuner, scenes. So we're gonna go down to scenes. Now we have a few different options. We have next and previous, or we can use our controller to go to a specific scene. And this is probably dependent on the MIDI controller you're using, how many different buttons you have on it, how many different options you have available to you. But what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go here to load scene A, and we're gonna press learn. And it's gonna tell us to press the button we want to assign that to on our MIDI controller twice. So I'm gonna go here on the MIDI controller and do the first button, and we're gonna go click, click, and it says that it recorded it. We're gonna press OK, and then we're gonna go to load scene B. I'm gonna go to button 2 here, click, click. Okay, so now I have it set up so scene A is only the tube screamer and the amplifier, and then scene B is gonna be all of the effects on, so that'll be more of like a solo channel. So let's try this out. All right, and there you have it. And of course, we could set up more complex signal chains. We could use scene C and D and assign that to our MIDI controller as well, assuming that we have enough foot switches available for that. Okay, let me show you another really cool thing here we could do really quick. We can go back to our MIDI list here, and let's say we want to be able to turn that overdrive on or off. We just find the overdrive power on off here, and we're gonna press learn. And again, on our MIDI controller, we're gonna press the foot switch we want to assign that to twice. We're gonna get a message from the THU plugin saying it received the MIDI message. And then we should have some controls here. Look, we have 0 and 100%, so that is on and off. Now we could change that if we wanted to knock back the mix to like maybe 50% instead of having it just on and off, but we're gonna leave it at just on and off now. So let's say I'm using my rhythm tone. And I want to take that tube screamer out of the equation. So you can see there are just a ton of possibilities with this setup, and if you like the THU interface, you like the plugins, you like the sounds, it might be worth experimenting with. For the record, I'm having a lot of fun right now dialing in tones, so. All right, just for funsies, I want to load up the THU rig player. Now, if you guys don't know what the rig player is inside of the THU plugin, I will definitely cover it in another video, as I think it is a really, really cool part of the plugin. But essentially what the rig player is an amp loader that exists inside the THU plugin, and it lets you load up different amplifiers that have been profiled that are available on the THU website. This is one of my favorites. It's based off the purple channel on a rev generator amp. All right, what are your guys' thoughts on using an application like the THU plugin as a live solution? Is it something that you would do? Let us know down in the comments below, and let us know if there's anything else you would like to see covered inside the THU plugin. As always, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.